little while ago, I had the great pleasure of interviewing Nels Anderson as he walked me through the game that he designed called Firewatch, and this was something that had been in my radar for a long time. We got to see a little glimpse of it at E3 in 2015, and I did start to play the game a little bit before I talked with Nels, and of course I went on to finish the game, and I have to tell you, it deserves every ounce of its success. I know that Nels was a little nervous behind the scenes about how this game was going to be received, and it turned out to be one of the biggest downloaded titles of February, and it deserves to be. It's a fantastic escape. It's an adventure game. It's not an action game. It's a game about personality, and it's a game about relationship, and it's a game about maturity and responsibility. All of those words and descriptors kind of make this thing sound ridiculously tedious, but I tell you something, you are in the shoes of the character that you are playing. You play a middle-aged guy named Henry who has gone through some pretty devastating kind of change in the beginning of the game, and I'm not going to spoil that for you. And what happens is he kind of tries to escape, and he puts himself into a very weird situation as a guy that watches for forest fires in this camp, in this government-run national forest. And he creates a relationship with this woman over a walkie-talkie named Delilah. And so much of what happens and transpires throughout this game is that interplay, is that conversation, that constant dialogue back and forth over the walkie-talkie. And they've done a fantastic job of casting Henry and Delilah so the actors really embody these characters. But just the sort of the choice tree that you have, no pun intended, for deciding on where the dialogue is going to go is really wonderful stuff, you know? And really what the game becomes is you're kind of looking inward on the character as you are looking outward and trying to explore and discover the different nooks and crannies of this forest that you're there to protect. And you do discover some mysterious things. And I have to tell you, that's when the game really kind of flipped to a whole other level for me, because some horrible things are kind of unraveled and discovered as you go through this game. And it ratcheted up the sense of danger on the character, but not in the typical video game way, but the actual, like, the human way. Like, I don't want this character to have anything befall him that's going to traumatize him, you know? And that was a real sort of wonderful experience for me, is to just really get into the boots of this vulnerable, broken man and go through this story with him. And I think that this game is very unique and lovely. I mean, it was all done with Unity as its framework for the engine. It's a remarkable open world experience with, you know, a really beautiful, you know, muted kind of color palette and excellent sort of design work on the environment. And all these great little story touches and these great little narrative design decisions that just keep you completely compelled all the way through. You're not going to be able to kind of reference a whole bunch of games that are like Firewatch, and I think that's probably its strongest component. It's absolutely one of the stellar games for 2016 already, and it's one that I highly recommend, especially if you're into experiencing a first-person game like you've never experienced before. I'm giving Firewatch a 9 out of 10. Hey, thanks for checking out that video on our EPN channel. It's just one small part of the things that we make around here. So if you liked it, don't forget to check out some of our other vids and hit that subscribe button.